and welcome to the Adelaide Board Game Group Top 10 Games of 2019. Sorry this is a little bit late, but I've been working on a few things and this just took a bit more time than I thought. So, what I've got here is basically the top 10 games of last year. I worked this out, I've been recording every night, basically every game. I missed out on a few minor ones, obviously I can't keep track of everything, but I do believe I've got a pretty solid list here. The way that some of the ties were broken is basically the earlier they were played in the year, the earlier I have them on the list. So let's get going with number 10. Number 10 is Seven Wonders Duel. This is a two-player game. Was played 10 times throughout the year. Got quite a few playthroughs earlier in the year. Died out during the middle though. Might pick up a bit more when the new expansion hits, I believe later this year. So we'll see how that one goes, but we might see that one pop up again. Number 9, we have King Domino. This is actually one of my favourites. I personally prefer Queen Domino, but my best is to combine them both. But King Domino is just such a simple game that we found a lot of the newcomers that were coming in, playing the game. We got taught quite a bit from some of our regulars. I always try to bring it out whenever I can, just because it's obviously reminding us of the old King Domino games back in the day. But yeah, got played 10 times, exactly like I said, just like Seven Wonders Duel. But it was played a bit later, so that's why it's number 9. Number 8, we have a entry that came later on in the year. It's called Letter Jam. So this is actually kind of a little bit of a popular one in our group. We have quite a lot of people that like their word games. So this got played quite often. Not personally one of my favourites just because of how bad I am at words, but I actually do enjoy it. It's actually quite fun. I've always loved working out the words, even though I usually get them wrong. So that's number 8 with 13 playthroughs, Letter Jam. Number 7 is one that I didn't see many people own, but we did have one regular that always brought it in, and that was Majesty. It got played 13 times, just like Letter Jam. It's another one of those ones that is a very good entry-level game, quite simple mechanics. Basically, you have a line of cards, pick a card. Always trying to do set collection, but it was played quite a lot, quite enjoyable. That's Majesty. Number 6 on our list is Sagrada. This is actually one of my favourites. I prefer this over Azul myself, even though the new one is a little bit better. But I do like my Sagrada. It's number 13 on the list. We actually have quite a lot of 13s, so this is the second to last one. Just rolling your dice, very pretty game. It's one of those entry-level ones that people like to always bring in and play quite often. So that's number 6, Sagrada. Number 5, we have one of the most complicated games we have on our list. Quite a few people bought it, so I got played quite often throughout the year, and that is Viticulture. I didn't track how many times it was played with the expansion, as I hear that that's the better way to play it, but it did get played 13 times like we said. Got played quite often even though it's a longer game, but it's one that I actually haven't played, but we'll see how it goes throughout this year. That's Viticulture. Number 4 on our list is one that might not shock anyone, as it was played quite often. There was a certain person that brought this in quite a lot. He enjoyed it. I played it, I think, twice throughout that last year, and that is Spirit Island. So it got played 15 times throughout the year. It's one that I actually don't mind enjoying, even though it is quite heavy, especially for newcomers. That's probably why we didn't see it even hit even higher. It was played a few times with the expansion, though I didn't track that once again. Hopefully we might see it back this year. That's Spirit Island, number 4. Number 3 on our list, we have Root. So it was played 19 times throughout the year. This one was kind of a little bit of a surprise, but it was a Kickstarter, so quite a few people got it, and when it did hit, it hit hard. There's quite a few times where it was played 2 times throughout the night, maybe even possibly 3. I didn't never track that. But it was definitely one that was played quite often. I played it a few times. I didn't play it on Monday night, but I have a friend that does. I actually don't mind it. We'll see what happens this year, as there is, I believe, a new expansion or a new one coming out. We'll see when that comes out. And that's number 3, Root. Number 2, we have my second actually favourite game of last year. And I cannot wait for it this year. It's already been played a few times already this year. Played 24 times throughout the year. And that is Wingsban. So obviously this game's just been blowing up all last year. It's on quite a few top 10 lists and it hits ours quite well. Even though the European expansion did come out at the end of last year, we'll see what happens throughout this year. The Oceania one will hopefully revive this game throughout the year, and I can probably see it being again on the top 10 games of this year, but we'll see what happens with some other games. So that's number 2, Wingspan. So number 1, this is, I knew this would be number 1 probably halfway throughout the year. It was just constantly played. It's one of my favourites. It'd be probably in my top 10 of all time, just how much I play it. And that is Space Base. So number 26 on our list. Sorry, not number 26 on our list. It was played 26 times last year. And I already know it's been played a few times this year already. Just such a fantastic game. The expansion did come out, even though not many people actually played with the expansion. It was always mostly just the base game. But I quite enjoyed it. I played through the campaign, which also added a few more plays throughout the year. But I just can't wait for this game. Hopefully they release another expansion this year. I'll probably be talking about this at the end of this year as well, just because how much it will just be played. So that's number 1. That's Space Base. Now, just to give you some other notes, there is obviously how much games I tracked and how many total games were played in total, or should I say unique games played in total. So I do have those statistics, so just bear in mind this is probably 90% of the games that I tracked, just because obviously, like I said, I can't track everything. It's quite hard, especially when I have a sick day. But the total games that I recorded was 356 unique games. So that's not plays, that's just the amount of unique games that I have on the list that I have for 2019. Compared to the total number of games that I've tracked in terms of how many games that I recorded, that was just under 1,000 games that I actually recorded. that I actually recorded. So it's quite a good list. It gives you basically mostly from family weight games up. Just to note that I didn't put on the list party games. So there's 2 that are on this list that you're probably all wondering about. And that is Decrypto and Just One. If I was tracking Just One, it would probably be at 80 plays. That game just blew up as soon as it hit our tables. I now think half our group now owns that game. I just couldn't track that. It's just unfair with the other games. And the other one was Decrypto. I forgot what, I didn't track that, but I think it came in around number 13, but I can probably write that in the comments about where that hit. But I just didn't track party games. I just didn't feel like it was fair just because how short they are and how replayability they are. For example, I probably won't be tracking Wavelength this year just because I already know that's been played about 7 or 10 times compared to everything else. So that's our top 10 of last year. Hopefully I'll be able to do it again at the end of this year. This is our first time and my first time ever doing something like this, so please bear in mind the quality. But hopefully we can do some more of these things. Let's see how it goes. So thanks for coming, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on a Monday night sometime.